In this video, I'm going to walk you through assignment 8 for the bond assignment. We're going to be working with your assigned companies again this time. Now, I'm going to do this one using Kroger's and just to demonstrate. So this is the worksheet assigned to the that is attached to the assignment. When you open it up, download this spreadsheet download the workbook onto your computer, and then open this link. This link is to the FINRA market database. It's a listing of bond prices, and we open the hyperlink. This page ought to come up. Slowly. Alright, so when it comes up, hopefully yours will come up faster. There's something called the quick search down here. Go to the quick search and click on the radio button for corporate, and then type in your company's name. I'm going to put in Kroger. And then when you hit the search, you'll get a long listing of bonds outstanding from the Kroger company. Okay, you can see there's a lot of bonds up here for Kroger. I want you to pick three, any three, but make sure that the maturity date is somewhere beyond in 2020 or beyond. Preferably get some short-term and some long-term. Okay, so to get the actual data we need for here, go out here. You see there's a link under the symbol. So I'm going to pick this first one, the bond that matures in 4/15/2022, and it has a 3.4% coupon rate. So click on that. Of course, you're picking bonds for your particular companies, and some data pops up. And the first thing we see up at the top is some information on the company name, the coupon rate, the maturity date. Those are the things I want you to transfer into the spreadsheet. Okay, so Kroger Company. Make this a little bit bigger so we can see. Kroger Company. The coupon rate was 3.4%. The maturity date is 4/15/2022, so 2022. Copy the symbol, and the easiest way to do the symbol is to just highlight it and cut and paste. The symbol and the QSIP. Alright, if it loses formatting, I can live with that. Copy the QSIP. The QSIP is just another way of tracking the particular bond. Last trade price, okay, and that's right underneath it. You can see here where it says last trade price. I'm going to make this a little bit larger. Last trade price is 104.54, and that's per $100 of par value. So 104.54 is the last trade price. The last trade yield is 2.472. That's the yield to maturity, given that this was the price. All right, we space down here, and I want you to look for a couple other things. One is the Standard & Poor's rating, and this company is rated BBB. And the dated date. The dated date is 4/16/2012. That's the date it was actually issued. So when it was issued, it had 10 years to go, It's automatically calculating that it's got 5 years left. The estimated treasury rate is 1.18% for a 5-year maturity, and that gives us an estimated default risk premium of 1.29. Now I'm just going to go pick another bond. I'll just use the back button. Sometimes this works better than others. And some computers work better than others. All right, I'm going to get a longer dated bond here. There's one, the bond database here, that matures in 2043. Okay, so again, I click on the symbol there. And still a Kroger company. This coupon is 5.15%. This bond matures 8/1/2043. The symbol, again, I'll just copy. I want the symbols in here so I can track down and make sure if you got an answer much different than the one I get, I need to figure out what bond you got. So the symbol and the QSIP are ways of tracking the bond, the particular bond we're talking about. All right, the last trade price on this one was 117.04, and the last trade yield 4.086. It is also a BBB bond, and that's usually going to be the same regardless of the maturity date. And the dated date on this one was 7/25/2013. And the dated date right under the issue element. That's that number right there. That's the date when the bond became active. So when it was issued, it was a 30-year bond. It's got 26 and a half years to go. A comparable U.S. Treasury with 26 and a half years would have an estimated rate of return of 2.29, and we can see the default risk premium on this one is actually higher. Part of that default risk premium estimate that we're coming up here is also going to be where we're trying to estimate maturity risk premium that's built into here. So these are real numbers, and I'll do one more Kroger. And real numbers don't come out as pretty as we find them in the textbook. Okay, so I want to take this back. There's the reload button, see if that works. Okay, and come down here and pick one more. Again, as long as it's 2020 or beyond, there's one from 2026. I'm going to click on the symbol here. And this particular bond has a 3.5% coupon rate. It's got a maturity date of 2/1/2026. I copy the symbol. The QSIP. The last trade price 105.77, and the last trade yield 2.773. It's still a BBB. And the dated date is 1/15/2016. So that bond was just issued earlier this year. It's also a 10-year bond. It's got 9 years. It was a 10-year bond. It's got about 9 years to go. And we see that it's got a default risk premium estimated about 1.28%. If I was going to pick my estimate of the default risk premium, I would just discard this one, and these two are pretty close. So I'd say the default risk premium on Kroger is about 1.3%. All right, so at this stage of the game, what you would do is save this. If I was to save this, onto this computer, and the naming convention is last name underscore first name underscore bond. Save it, and then I would attach this to my submission. And I'll do a separate video on attaching files for the assignment submission. When you attach the file, then you just comment on the difference between this company and its competitor. I'm just doing the one company. I would expect you to do, if your Delta is your company, I expect Delta and Southwest in here. If Exxon is your company, I expect to see Exxon and Chevron. If Home Depot is your company, Lowe's and Home Depot, and and so forth with the other companies.